Bleach's latest chapter, New Breaths from Hell, saw Tite Kubo give the fans another look at his masterful work. While he did answer some much anticipated questions concerning certain characters, he left us with a number of new questions concerning Bleach lore and its future. In this video, I'm going to reveal to you the 12 questions I have about the new Bleach chapter, along with your possible answers. As always, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to not miss any of my content. And with that out of the way, let's jump in, starting with number 1. What's the deal with the fish we see Kazuie riding? A possible answer for this question is that maybe this is his Fullbring. Fullbring uses an object that is close to the wielder as the basis of the power. For Ichigo, it was the combat pass. For Ginjo, it was the pendant. For Tsukishima, it's the bookmark. For Orihime, it's her petals. And for Chad, it's his skin. If indeed the one speaking about the fish is Kazuie, which is still unconfirmed, it is possible that Kazuie had an attachment so strong to the fish that it became the basis of his Fullbring, the first Fullbringer who has a living object as their power base. Again, this is just my speculation, we don't know for sure, we'll have to wait for what Kubo says. But there is another possible answer to this question. It could be that there is an outside character who is using the fish to lead Kazuie to certain locations and to have him do certain things. We won't know until Kubo tells us himself. Number 2. Did Kazuie open a portal to hell? All signs lead me to believe that yes, Kazuie opened a gateway to hell. The opening of the portal he showcased has similar characteristics to the portal that Xylopor used. The trademark inner reishi that looks like a garganta, the teeth on the mouth, and the presence of numerous hell butterflies. I think it's very likely that Kazuie did indeed open a portal to hell. Number 3. How was Ichika able to sense the ghoul before the others did? A possible answer for this is, I really don't know. It's possible that since she arrived with a hell butterfly, the hell butterfly's presence made her aware at that specific moment. It's either that or a completely different reason we're yet to see. Some people believe that Ichika merely saw the ghoul with her own eyes, but I'm inclined to believe that even if she did see it, Kubo did have a small panel showcasing her sensing it, and so there is the possibility that Ichika does have the ability to sense ghouls. We just don't know how, and only Kubo can explain that to us. Number 4. Is Yu Yoihara a daughter of Kisuke and Yoruichi? In my opinion, it's not impossible for this to be true. It's been 12 years since the war ended, so the oldest she can be if we assume that it happened off screen during the time skip is 12. To be a 12-year-old lieutenant is highly unlikely, which would mean that she must have been born before that. Any time before that makes things complex, because it would mean that Yoruichi has been hiding a pregnant belly all this time. Maybe there's a Keto for that, but all the same, I'd rather just think that this is a new character overall. Number 5. Is there or is there not a Warden of Hell? In the Scanlation's version of the chapter, they note that Xylopor mentioned a Warden, but in the Viz translation, he simply says the gallows are clairvoyant. I'm of the opinion that it's fine to use both fan and Viz translation to gain an all-round objective opinion of the chapter. For this, however, I think it's better to wait for more chapters to see what Kubo does. I prefer there to be a warden than for there to not be, but that's again just my personal preference. Number 6. What happened to Ichigo's dual-wield Zanpakuto? I have a video specifically dedicated to this. I'm going to link it right now in the top right-hand corner of your screen, so check that out if you want to, but I have my answers there. The short version of that video is basically that I believe that the current Zanpakuto that he has is his new base form, and then from there he can go into dual-wield Shikai and then his Bankai. Number 7. Why is Jushiro's Sogyo no Kotowari so huge? It's possible that once one is sent to hell, they get a buff of some kind, and in this case, Jushiro's buff is reflected in the size of his sword. Of course, that would mean that Jushiro himself got big or something, but the details are yet to be fully known as of right now. But it's very likely that being in hell gives you a buff of some kind, and in Jushiro's case, it's reflected in his sword. It's very possible. Number 8. Who goes to hell when they die? Between humans, Hollow, Shinigami, and Quincy, there are a lot of questions surrounding the requirements for damnation into hell. For humans, we know that the Kanso purifies the sins committed by the Hollow, but cannot purify sins committed before death. Those who commit unforgivable sins during their lifetimes are sent to hell. For Shinigami, we know that the spirit class of grade 3 and higher are sent down to hell through the use of the Kanso Reisai. As far as the Hollows are concerned, Xylopor's presence is proof that Hollows can go to hell. The specific requirements are unknown at this moment, but if Xylopor can be sent to hell, I see no reason why any other Espada cannot be sent to hell as well. It's important to note that the Shinigami purify Hollows when they fight, but they kill Arankars. In other words, Hollows that were killed during the Wakamundo arc are purified, but characters like Szayelaporro, Stark, and Noitora, when defeated, are not purified, they are killed. But where Shinigami have the Konsho Reisai for spirit classes 3 and up, we do not know what the hollow equivalent is. All in all, we'll have to wait and see what Kubo says. The Quincy, on the other hand, are the hardest to predict. We have very little data to go off of, so I will just predict and say that yes, Quincy's can go to hell. How though? I'm not sure. Maybe Quincy's have their own specific system that's different from the Shinigami and also different from the Hollows that allows them to decide who goes where. Maybe, I don't know, but I don't think it's impossible. We'll just have to wait and see what Kubo says. Number 9. Does being sent to hell mean that you're damned to hell? I believe that, for example, just because Unohana was sent to hell does not necessarily mean that she's a sinner damned to hell. It could merely mean a change in location. It could mean that captains, when sent to hell, are given roles to play that separate them from the damned. We don't know for sure. Kubo is just going to have to explain this one as it stands. Number 10. What does it mean that hell can be opened from the other side? If we assume that Kazui did open a portal to hell, and combine that idea with Szayelaporro's appearance out of another individual portal, and then factor in Jushiro Ukitake's arrival through the main gate, it's very possible to theorize that the imbalance in hell allows individual portals to be opened, and that is what Szayelaporro used. Think of it this way. Imagine a prison facility with walls surrounding it. Yes, there is a gate, and in the event that the gate is breached, it could be very problematic. But the gates are usually heavily guarded, and while it's not impossible to breach them, there is a defensive mechanism in place. The bigger problem would be if there were gaps in the walls itself all around the facility, allowing any prisoner to pass through. That's a much bigger problem, and that's what I think is happening here in Bleach. The real issue is the fact that random individuals are becoming able to open portals on their own onto the other side. But ultimately, it falls at the feet of Kubo to tell us what's actually going on. Number 11. What is the Phosphoplasm / Will-O-Wisp from hell? This is something that Kubo is just going to have to address. The Viz translation calls it Phosphoplasms, and the scans call it a Will-O-Wisp. We know at the very least that it's from hell. It's possible that this could be the equivalent of Reishi for hell. Soifon notes that it's not Reishi and that it's not being absorbed back into the air. We know that the captains were at the site of Jushiro's grave where his spirit energy would in theory be located, and we also know that the vice captain slaughtered the ghouls in the presence of Jushiro's eyes, the combat pass. So what if after the Konsho Reisai was completed in the world of the living, Jushiro Ukitake's spirit energy at the site of his grave in Soul Society transformed into this phosphoplasm, which is the equivalent of Reishi for hell? And what if that is what they saw and that's what Shunsui was able to notice? It's possible, but this is merely speculation. We won't know until Kubo tells us. I know that I've said that a lot throughout this video, but I mean it. Kubo's the only one who really knows. Finally, number 12. What are ghouls / hell beasts? Szayelaporro notes that in hell, the hollow hole is taken from internal to external. So we can conclude that ghouls are born from hollows in hell whose hollow holes are transferred from inside to outside. Could there be a Shinigami and Quincy equivalent of ghouls? It's possible, probably, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. So, let me know what you think about this down in the comment section down below. Again, for the questions that do not already have answers, I merely gave my opinion. Please do not interpret this as factual. My next video is going to cover the theories moving forward from this point. We'll be discussing where the Bleach manga could go, what we would like to see, and what mistakes Kubo should avoid. So do look forward to that, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this content. With that, it's your boy Rebirth, signing off. Peace.